political leader and the founder of the Progressive Democratic Patriots. We are reporting from our headquarters in Scarborough, Port Mall, Level 3. A number of issues has been engulfing and engaging Tobagonians over the last week. And I intend to deal with all three of those issues today. The first being that of the licensed officers who have been augmented here in Tobago by a super strong force from Trinidad. And we have the music industry, and we have to look at where does it go. Something has happened for the music industry. It has taken up all of a week with a guy from Trinidad, one of our famous recording artists. I want to speak on that, not personalizing it, but using the issue to speak to all artists in Tobago and those in Trinidad. And finally, I would like to touch on the Tobago Heritage Festival and its impact upon Tobago's economy, tourism, and other spheres of businesses or divisions of authority in the Tobago House of Assembly. So let me go back to the first issue. Now allow me just to get some water, one bit. I will need some water. All right, true spot and style. We're doing straight from the nipple. You don't need no glass or nothing like that. Straight. So, on the issue of the licensed officers, I want to commend the licensed officers in Tobago and the forces that they were strengthened by in Trinidad for coming to Tobago and making Tobago the center of attention over the last few days. Indeed, they reminded us in Tobago that the law in Trinidad is the same law in Tobago. It reminds us, therefore, of the lack of our authority in Tobago insofar as defining national laws and also laws that governs Tobago. Case in point, the merit points that occur when the licensing officers charge you for various offenses, and if you don't pay, you have a demerit point, as the case may be. I'm not sure how it goes. But had it been something that had Tobago input on it, we're not talking about the input of the gang, but Tobago input as Tobagonians really having a say on those licensing laws, they would have been different and they would not have been so draconian. But the licensing officers remind us that when a law is passed in the parliament in Trinidad, it affects us here in the Tobago House of Assembly. And there is no law for Trinidad and no law for Tobago. The licensing officers also remind us that any government worker who is part of the central government plays a pivotal role in carrying out the government functions, the central government functions. And so when the licensing officers came here in Tobago, it is no longer a THE matter. It is a matter of a central government governing the island of Tobago through its people. So while under Schedule 5, or the 5th schedule of the Tobago House of Assembly, licensing division may be one of the issues that falls under the 33 areas of interest to Tobago. We are unable to make laws to affect the lives of people in Tobago or or to protect them. That might be a lot of saying that people are not ready to understand and digest, but in simple fact, the problems that we face in Tobago are made in a parliament in Trinidad. And we have no recourse to address these problems when we have 2 seats against 39 seats. And those 2 seats are not needed because they are part of a gang in Trinidad and they must jump and follow suit whatever the gang says in Trinidad. We will have to treat with that, and to treat with that, we have 12 months, exactly 12 months from today, to decide who will lead those 2 seats in Tobago. Whether it is the PDP, the only self-sustaining party in Tobago, or the gang in Trinidad, or the jellyfish crew. We are up for the task. We are up for the work in the PDP. And when we get to office, we will be saying no deal would be made unless Tobago wins. Tobago must win. Not the PDP, not the political leader and founder of the PDP, not the executive of the PDP, but Tobago must win. That is the reason why we were elected, and that is the reason why, upon which we will govern, I would say. Yes, the time has come for Tobago to win. We have lost time and time again with fake politicians who become PDP today, and tomorrow they're independent. And tomorrow they reveal themselves as jellyfish. Blue color, and their symbol, when turned upside down, is the pure emblem of a jellyfish. Look at it good. I will speak this way because I am in political mode. With 12 months to go, I will waste no time with defeating all of my enemies through Spartan style. The aim is to win the political war and to defend the interests of Tobagonians. I want to say to the licensing officers, good job. You remind us of the law, but now you have done that, it is time to pack up and leave Tobago. You have spent a week not terrorizing us because you were doing your work. And so those persons who say they're terrorizing us, they are wrong. The licensing officers, they were not terrorizing us. We must use the correct words. What they were doing is provoking us. And you must not provoke people, because provocation could lead to other acts. Provocation led to one man saying, let's walk over here. Let's go back to the bad books. Provocation led to a group of men finding the head of an animal, the skeletal head of an animal, and openly putting it out there. I am saying to my friends today, in the licensing division, who came to Tobago, not those who are here, it's time to go back, and I'm giving you words that I know are true. I'm putting it politely to you. Do not spend another week in Tobago. I put it to you quite clearly. This has nothing to do with no protest or anything like that. I'm advising you kindly, pretty please, do not spend another week in Tobago. To all my licensing friends from Trinidad, I say to you, I repeat for emphasis, do not spend another week in Tobago. I have told you so. A word to the wise is sufficient. I will say no more, as there is no threats in that. There is no prophetic statement in that. I'm just saying to you, do not spend another week in Tobago. You have done a good job. Yes, pack up your stuff and go back now. And write in your book, you have made Tobago recognize the law. You have done well. Thank you. On the issue of our entertainers in our music industry, I'm quite saddened by the fact that one of our music entertainers could leave the shores of Trinidad and Tobago for a gig somewhere in St. Martin. And St. Martin, if you know, it's a very small island divided into two. It's like Haiti on one side and Dominican Republic on the next side. They have the Dutch on one side and they have the French on the next side. That's a small island, St. Martin. I've been there. Beautiful small island. I was quite shocked when I heard the violent attack on one of the members of our society. But I was even more shocked when I heard the Minister of Justice speaking utter rubbish. And I want to make it absolutely clear that anybody who wants to attack the citizens of this country will have to first run into Watson Duke, the political leader and founder of the Progressive Democratic Patriots. Our people are not ordinary members. Our people are devotees, they are Spartans. And our commitment is to defend the rights and interests of our people, and that we will do. So what will miss other persons from the big gang in Trinidad and the Jellyfish crew in Tobago and the other people who have in their own political organizations? What will miss them will not miss us. For whatever reason they shoot up that vehicle is unknown to me. But what concerns me is the utter rubbish that spew out of the Minister of Justice's mouth from the St. Martin, saying to us and saying to people that he did not know on what visa the man came there. My friend, let me tell you, this is CARICOM. And unless St. Martin is located in Europe, stop acting as if you are a product of white supremacism. Stop acting as if you're not a black man. This is the Caribbean. I know you could tell me, but we belong to French, we belong to Dutch, and all these simidimi nonsense. This is the Caribbean. And St. Martin is known as a Caribbean island. Whether you're a member of CARICOM or not is not my business. But when you are in Rome, you must act as the Romans do. And internationally, all islands, all nations have become one. And so recently, we had a foreigner here who came here on a vacation. He didn't come here on any government business. He came on vacation. And a shark that no one was minding or was a pet anywhere showed up, bit him. The man had to be thrown out. And who bore the expenses? The Tobago House of Assembly and the government of Trinidad and Tobago. We all patch up and bear the expenses. This is not the first time. Anybody who suffers some damage in Trinidad and Tobago, whether they were working for the government or privately, it is our business and our aim to preserve life and do all that we can do to preserve life and not to pass blame. I consider your statement foolish, unlearned, and purely animalistic. Your love for human life shows a lack thereof. And I want to tell you, do yourself a favor and remove yourself from office, because people like you will give St. Martin a bad name. Plumpy was there. He didn't sneak in the night on his own. He was invited there. And if he was invited there, we expect you to take care of him and all the others. Not just him, but any singer who go to St. Martin. Regularly, Trinidad singers go to St. Martin to perform in events. I've met singers there already. Calypso, reggae, and different things. It's not a new thing. Even if it's a private event, the government is responsible for all and sundry, even the visitors. So don't talk about you not getting permit for this and you're washing your hands, stop being foolish. Not everybody in Trinidad and Tobago will buy into your foolishness. Treat him as how you will treat one of your citizens, with dignity and respect. And to send him back for us in a comatose state is nothing that we are happy about. We are happy that they didn't kill him across there, because they could have, and said he arrived at the hospital dead. We are happy you all didn't do that. But don't think we are happy that you all have flown him back to us in a comatose state. When he left here alive. He left here with his children and whatever the case may be, expecting him to return. To die on Trinidad soil is a different thing, you know. But he's in your country. What protection was given to him during the event, after the event, but more so after he was attacked? What type of health care was given to him to ensure when he returns back to Trinidad, he returns back in a conscious state and with value and meaning to his family? Let it never happen again anywhere in the Caribbean. I put my foot on that today. Let no Caribbean leader open their mouth and say, well, he didn't come in government business. Anytime anybody leave from Trinidad and Tobago, anywhere in the Caribbean, make sure to protect our people. Protect our people. Because we down here love our people. If the bad, let it be bad here, we're going to deal with that. We have the courthouse here, or the police here, we're going to deal with that here. But when they go out, treat them with respect. Don't use our own circumstances in Trinidad and Tobago to beat down, bad treat, and brutalize our people. You know the story in Tobago? Your children can be bad at home, ain't it? They can be rude to them mother at home. But when they leave home and they go down the road, don't trouble them enough. That same mother will come down the road for you. The same father will come down the road for you. Because what goes on in a family belongs to the family. What goes on in Trinidad and Tobago belongs to Trinidad and Tobago. Do not take our people and mistreat them outside there. It's an act of war, it's an act of aggression against our people, and we're not standing for that. To our musical geniuses in Trinidad and Tobago who are desirous of traveling abroad and become a regional musician, whether it be singer or you're playing instruments as the case may be, because music does take you places, I want to say to be very careful as to how you're traveling. As we recognize, there are gangs all over the place, there are people with guns all about the place, there are people who will kill you all about the place, anywhere you go. Always travel with your own personal protection, yeah? And also pay for protection when you reach across it. If you can't pay for it, let those who hire you afford you with paid protection. Yes, you can find bodyguards anywhere in the world. Let them pay for 2-3 protection for you, and never travel in one vehicle. Travel in 2-3 vehicles, interchanging vehicles. You know how the drill goes. Protect your life. We do not want to lose people in our entertainment industry. You are a rare breed. You mean something to me personally as the political leader and the founder of the Progressive Democratic Patriots. You mean something to me. My party has been founded upon grassroots people, upon the backs of persons who sing, upon the person who dance, upon the person who are ordinary citizens. And we want to ensure that you are represented whenever we speak. On the issue of Tobago heritage, I want to say I must commend highly Roxborough Heritage Group. It was a very stunning performance. I have taken a clip and I've put the clip up on my Facebook page, and I've gotten mad reviews. Some persons were brought to tears by it. They felt that it was like an action movie. I want to say to my people in Roxborough, what you are doing does not deserve to be placed within Tobago Heritage Festival. that should be a national holiday, right? That event, the Belmana riot, requires a national holiday. And that holiday should be May 1st. Because in 1876, from May 1st to May 5th, we have had the second and only successful slave rebellion in the entire Caribbean. We have had the second only, because Haiti was the first successful slave rebellion. That's right. That started in the early 1800s. And in 1876, later on, latter 1800s, the Tobago Belmana riot, I'm telling you clearly now, you can research it, was the only, after Haiti, was the only successful slave rebellion. They had captured all of Tobago, and all of Tobago was under the slaves now. But slavery had abolished, so under those who were planting, the workers, I would say. It didn't last long, it lasted 5 days. 5 days of frolic in the street, and the police were all driven back, and those in the House of Legislation could have done nothing about it. But word went from Tobago to Grenada, and Grenada sent message to Barbados, where a naval fleet, a British naval fleet, came up on our shores, and with aggression towards the workers, kill a few of them, hold them, try them, lock them up, and went back to England with the word that the matter has been dealt with. Sometime later on, around August, September, around the Queen went to the Parliament of England and said Tobago has become ungovernable, and so therefore she is revoking the executive powers of the Tobago House of Assembly for them to make laws or to elect people. The executive powers were repealed. They have all that in documents to show that at another time and date. But that story is not told. So this story has somewhat been watered down with the Tobago Heritage Festival. This requires a full day. I know what I'm saying. This requires a national holiday on May 1st, which is the International Labor Day, because it happened on May 1st, 1876. So again, I want to say kudos to the people of Roxburgh, all those who participated. I myself was caught up in the emotion of it, in the rain, beating my fake cutlass, saying, let me go, yeah. Because the thing nice. Revolution nice. Especially when it's for the people. On the issue of the license officers leaving Tobago, I want to loop it now, because I've touched on the Belmana riot. For a long time, people have been saying Tobago people, they're dotish, they're coward, they're afraid. Tobagonians are different kind of people, of which I am one. I consider myself to be full-bred Tobagonian. Not change. I don't even try to change up my language too much. I just talk my raw language. Because we must be proud of who we are. Tobagonians are quiet people, but they have tolerance limit. Tobagonians have tolerance limit. I want to tell license officers something today. And this is no threat whatsoever. Take it from me. I used to represent license officers in Trinidad as the PSC president. So I love them. And I would defend them very strongly, I would say. License officers. And they know that. They're my friends. So I tell them kudos for the job well done. But know when to leave. Know when to leave the stage. Do not take Tobagonian scam as permission to be aggressive towards them. Let me tell you the state of Tobagonians now. They are without a leader in the Tobago House of Assembly. Val is no leader at all. He's a playboy that's occupying office that will have to leave in no more than 16 months. He'll have to leave that office because in 16 months from today, there will be a THA elections or before that. He has only 16 months to play with. There's no leadership at all in the Tobago House of Assembly. So, on one time, when the license officers came here from Trinidad, and it is reported that they charged some relative of his. He said they are terrorizing people. But his relative was affected by it. Or some family affairs, I would say. Then we heard Bad Boy Trevor saying he will not give them any vehicles nor offices to work in. So I said, what's going on here? Is it war against licensing officers in Trinidad? It's one licensing officers in Trinidad and Tobago, one. We have a group across here. And so, no. We are not against Trinidad licensing officers coming here. We are not against that. All right? What we are against is provocation. Know when to stop. It's a very serious word I give in licensing officers today. Know when to stop. The Bible says the churning of milk does bring forth butter when I keep churning milk. And the ringing of your nose does bring forth blood. Know when to stop. I'm telling you that. With all seriousness, know when to stop. You are provoking Tobagonians. You're not terrorizing them. Don't get up with that. Tobagonians are a very quiet group of people. They suffer with what is called repressed anger. They dumb it down. They push it down and they smile. How are you going? Nice, be cool. But they are angry on the inside, walking around the place. Do not take Tobagonian silence for weakness. And don't think that when you give out tickets at midnight hours and you do all kind of things, you're teaching them a lesson. On the flip side, we have no money to pay. Because things are real hard across here since this group came into office. Work hard. The only work they're giving away is cutlass work. And that is 10 on, 10 off. I have to work. When you work half a month, you gain $1,500 a month. Then you want to get a man a ticket for $2,000. Where you pay bills? What's going on with that? And it's 10 on, 10 off. So we have to understand that the economics of Tobago does not allow Tobagonians to pay these excessive bills of some 2,000, 3,000 hours demerit points. People are afraid. People have met me and said, boy, I park my car quite across when I walk in. People are afraid, like no officer talking to all you. I'm talking to all. People are afraid. They can't handle the bills. They're not afraid of all you know. They can't take it anymore. When I say to you to this today, I am giving you sound advice, not a warning. This is advice. So, do not come back in a hurry. Let this blow over. It could take them a while to forgive and forget this. You hurt them deeply. When men start talking about Obia, black magic, and men start coming out, you're pulling out a kind of group of people that doesn't come out like that. And they come to me. And I say nothing. I say let them do the work. Because I for the licensed officers, but not for advantage. Stop it and stop it now. End that text. Any questions?
You mentioned in relation to the Tobago Heritage Festival, you focused on the Belmar riots. Can I give me your own take of how you saw the entire festival, generally?
I passed through the Moriah Festival, and that may have been the only one I passed through, really. But I'll try to follow it on the Facebook a little bit also, too, because it's impossible for me to go to all physically. And like Roxborough, they were all attended by the participants. That's where the greatest attendees came from, the participants and those related to the participants, because they'll bring your own little home crowd with them. But apart from that, there's very little that goes on in the Heritage Festival that attract outsiders, meaning persons from Trinidad, persons from Barbados, persons from Grenada, persons from Jamaica. There's very little that goes on. Because we see the Heritage Festival as a little school concert, as a little skit, as a little play. And that, to me, removes the greatness of the Heritage Festival. What we need to do is to create in every village, in every village, a group of people that take time out and practice their craft to a different level. You go to Africa, some parts, and you make it very historical, so to speak. Very historical, if you understand what I'm saying. If you understand what I'm saying. You're making a historical event, and when you go there, it's like you're going back in time. I actually saw it in Roxborough, some extent in Charlottesville, and some extent in Moriah. But we need to do it better. It needs to be done where people are given tickets long in advance and sold those events long in advance. We must be doing that during the cruise ship time. That's what I'm saying to you. When cruise ships coming in, they could go to a heritage festival taking place, maybe bring it right down inside here. So that's how we do it. I'm not even sure the heritage festival could be done over a period of time like that. What the PDP, I could tell you, what the PDP suggests and what we have written about is to create a heritage village. Dedicate about 40 acres of land and create something like Walt Disney. So when a person come into that heritage village, they could say a Jan Jackie. You know what Jan Jackie is? Miss CPO? I'll ask you because you're one of the youngest person in the room. Right? My dear friend, you know what that Jan Jackie is? You know what Jan Jackie is? Anybody know what Jan Jackie is? A Jan Jackie is half woman, half pig foot. Some may say that Dwayne, some may say is this, Elijah Bless, but we call them different names, right? And a different name, I might even be described as wrong for all I know. But we grew up on those kind of names. And our history has to be preserved and has to be captured in one place. So someone could actually go there and see what something look like a real Jan Jackie look like. You know, we must go beyond the days of looking like we're toying with something, playing with something. When you want to show Belmana, show a man, a real white man. You know what I mean? Playing that role, who assume the role, and that is his job. He's being paid to do that. These actors must be paid. You know? When you're washing that bed, it must be actors who are being paid to do that. And they can know, well, tonight, they're washing that bed tonight. You know? And make the thing a real story. Make it a moving story. Games we used to play, but they're playing that today. That must be done throughout the year at different times. You need a heritage village for that. Tobago must build a heritage village. When you go inside that place, you go back in time, historically. But we have a bunch of clueless people leading Tobago down a dismal path. And I'm saying, thank God, it's only 16 months to election day for THA. But 12 months for the general elections. And the PDP will be asserting itself very strongly. As you know, on August 25th, almost 3 weeks from now, almost 4 weeks from now, you could say, we would be having a meeting of minds in Moriah at my residence. A very simple meeting where come and relax, local music, something to drink, something to eat, and we discuss our way forward. That's the highest form of democracy, right? We spoke about it. It's called participatory democracy, where persons participate in the exercise of democracy. Not where you steal on elections and you have about 100 votes and you try to say you get how much percentage. If you have 2 shoes, if you have 1 pair of shoes and you lost 1 foot at the shoes, right? You lost 50% of your shoes, right? And this is the kind of stupidity we have to deal with from politicians today. Everything for them is about a math, a fancy idea. If you lost half of a shoe, because I lost 50% of my shoes. Say, wow, but that's really plenty of shoes to lose there. But it's really half your shoes. This is the kind of an idiotic argument we are dealing with the other party that claim to have an election. Some person got 10 votes, some person got 7, some got 20 votes. And they say, yeah, X amount of persons vote. They are not democratic. The PDP is democratic. On the 25th of August, you will see people like crazy. The media is invited, of course. Right? We start like about 3 p.m. Everything going to be cranking from 4 p.m. And it's going to be interspersed with music and conversation. 1 or 2 persons going to be allowed to speak freely on the mic. but everything going to be done nicely. And you could interact with the Spartan leader, myself. I'll be on the ground, moving through the crowd, freely talking to people, engaging them, etc. Any further questions?
Whatever happened to the reconciliation talks between you and the Chief Secretary?
Well, the Chief Secretary is not in for reconciliation. Obviously, I believe he has his own benefits of doing that. But I can tell you, having seen your own internal election, which no one wants to come out from, and having seen a couple of foul starts where they are trying to say the launching here and this and that, and the small crowd, and the kind of people in the crowd, you know what I mean? And the way he will talk about some people knocking on their casket, and when you look down in their crowd, they say that senior people there. You want to know how is he doing that? How are we talking about some people knocking on the casket? You know what I mean? And the people down there, their eyes could barely open. The people in your crowd, they can't even stand up when I see them, they're seated. What kind of oxymoron is that? It doesn't make sense to me. And so I asked my good friend to either be fish or fowl, know where you're for. You know? And so at this point in time, I've removed that entire reconciliation. There's no part. I want no part of that at all whatsoever. No part. We only have 12 months to national elections. We are out from this month, start on the 25th, and we'll be more vociferous on every single issue. In every single place you're going to find the PDP, the PDP is back in full measure. They have been asking for me. No me come. Me there. Thank you all.
You described the licensing officers as provoking. Are you saying if they were only officers from Tobago without the reinforcement from Trinidad, then the activity or the crackdown would have been all right?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that timing is everything. And you have to know when to stop, right? If you don't know when to stop, you could overdo. And what you started doing could turn out to be something totally different. Yeah? In every single thing. Even when people is making a lovely thing like love, I have to know when to stop. And that's love, eh? Love is a lovely thing. I have to know when to stop. So anything, I have to know when to stop. Yeah? And I think they haven't spent a week here. I'm saying to them, if you don't know the Quebec culture, it's time to stop. And don't come back in a hurry. Don't come back. Nobody banning it from here. It's Trinidad and Tobago is one thing. But don't come back in a hurry. Yeah? You can hurt Tobagonians badly. They don't have your good in their mind.
Mr. Duke, any thoughts on the Chevron Connector Road? It's supposed to be open commission on Tuesday.
Which Tuesday? Next week?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Well, let me talk on that close at a time now. The fake road. All right, thank you.